Is it starting to feel that way?
Well,
we ain't been there for a while now. He demanded a trade, and their response was, we'll make you the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. And he decided he was going to stay.
Mm-hmm. But so
that's like begging for another chance after you done your person wrong. And then you're like, you know what? Maybe I can change him. Maybe they really mean it this time, but you know they never do. Yet you stay in this vicious cycle. You stay in what is an abusive relationship. That's Myles Garrett with the Cleveland Browns. Because they have absolutely abused one of the best talents that we've seen in the NFL over the last decade. Myles Garrett has played in a grand total of, 3 playoff games? And he's in the conversation, or he will end his career in the conversation for the greatest defensive player who have ever lived.
Exactly.
That's where we're at.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about with the Cleveland Browns. It is the height of dysfunction when you talk about a franchise, and of course, this relationship is dysfunctional as well.
It really is. We've been going back and forth between Myles Garrett and the Browns. As you said, CC, he requested a trade a year ago, but then they were like, wait a minute, we've got some cash for you. He signed a 4-year, $160 million deal with the Browns last March. They were bad again this past year, going 5-12. He was awesome again this year. Defensive Player of the Year, single-season sack record holder. But we got that news that the Browns and Myles Garrett had agreed to that modified language in his contract, and we know that that makes it easier for Garrett and the Browns to eventually divorce. So we were wondering, could he be on the move? Well, their GM, Andrew Berry, was asked about this. Is Myles Garrett going to be traded? Here's what he had to say.
Myles is a career Brown. He is one of the faces of our organization. I think we've been very clear, both past and present, in terms of our feelings on that stuff. I understand all the questions. I'll be honest, I don't really want to waste a ton more breath on the topic.
Okay, that's Andrew Berry from the league meeting in Arizona. CC, you buying it? When he says that Myles Garrett is a career Brown, do you buy it?
Yeah, I do. That, from his purview, he's a career Brown, because guess what? Myles Garrett is a damn good football player, and let's not forget how everything went down in Cleveland this offseason with the power struggle between Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry. And it really started last draft when Stefanski took Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round to be his guy, and Andrew Berry, the general manager, took Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round to be his guy. Shedeur showed better of the 2 rookie quarterbacks, and I don't think it's a coincidence that the other guy in Dylan Gabriel, the advocate that he had in the organization, Kevin Stefanski, is no longer there. So from the outside looking in, it's clear to me that Andrew Berry has to win games to justify his job security, and Myles Garrett goes a long ways to helping you do that. There's no sense in trading Myles Garrett and getting a whole bunch of draft picks for the next general manager. If you're Andrew Berry, you're trying to do everything that you can in order to position yourself to be more competitive than you have been in the previous years. So I actually believe Andrew Berry, what he said at the owners' meetings, that he has no intention of trading Myles Garrett this offseason.
That's a really good point. He is in win-now mode.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be in a better position to win games if you remove the best player from your football team.
Yeah. We got Myles Garrett, and we got 2 first-round draft picks. I'm going to find players that can help our team win now. Maybe there's a situation, maybe there's an opportunity for them to bring in another veteran to compete with Shedeur. Maybe they're going to see what Deshaun Watson has to play. The quarterback position seems to be the biggest riddle for the Cleveland Browns. They've got issues all over the roster, particularly on the offensive line as they've tried to retool that unit this offseason. They need more playmaking in their skill position core. But it's going to come down to whether or not the Cleveland Browns can get their offense jump-started. And a big part of that is going to be getting the best out of your quarterback room, and I don't know what the solution is to that end, if it's going to be Shedeur Sanders or if it's going to be a wild card.
Well, Andrew Berry, Brown's GM, was also asked about adding another quarterback to his room, to that room when he was at the league meeting in Arizona. Here's what he had to say about that prospect.
You always want to be flexible because you don't know how circumstances change or what opportunities come your way. Our lean would be if we do add someone to the quarterback room.
Widely agreed to language that would hold that roster bonus off until the week before the start of the 2026 season. And only reason Garrett would be okay with that, not earning that massive lump sum of money immediately, if he could be traded to a contending team this offseason. Joe?
Man,
we have a Myles Garrett sound from the 2017 draft that you might like. Let's take a listen to what Myles had to say back then.
Make it happen. Dak Prescott is leading our team right now. I need you to take Tony Romo, take a couple picks, and give them to Cleveland so you can pick me up, please. I love to play in Dallas. Just make it happen.
Oh man, I remember that, man. Man, what we have to do to get Myles on Ocho Sis?
Hey, Joe, the funny thing about it is before Unc even played that clip, the first thing I was going to say was I think Myles Garrett, the perfect place for him to be, to make that exponentially better right away would be Myles going to that goddamn star. It would make the most sense. If it's not Dallas, goddamn, I know Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman are biting at the bit.
Can you imagine having him on? Oh, my God.
You know y'all going to have to give up George Pickens, right?
For us to get him?
You're going to probably want 2 picks and a Pickens.
Hey, I'm going to holler at Pickens.
Joe said, I'll do it. Joe said, I'll do it.
I see the chemistry that Pick and Lamb got. I think they were just on vacation or something. I like that. You know what I mean? But boy, listen, you got to take that. Man, if you Dallas, you got a chance to get Myles Garrett. Come on, bro.
Talk to.
You remember I said this offseason, I said if I'm Philly, I'll trade him Jalen Carter and 2 picks for him. Everybody said I was crazy. Everybody said I was crazy. Now, they were talking about at the free agency that teams were inquiring about Jalen Carter because they had did the deal for Jordan Davis. Everybody said I was crazy. Oh, you crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. I said, okay.
Hey.
We'll see.
Hey. And to kind of backtrack, man, it'll get Shador another weapon on that outside. Hell, you're going to lose all them games with Myles. You might as well get rid of them.
That's what I said. As great as Myles is, and he is great, he can't influence the game, the winning enough because he needs to be on the other side of the ball, and he needs the ball in his hand. He's phenomenal. Think about it. With 23 sacks, he was unanimous defensive player of the year. Won 5 games.
Boy, Dallas, hey, I need to hit Jerry.
And that's the only 2 teams that I can think of that would pull the trigger. No matter.
The Chicago pulled the trigger. The Bears will pull the trigger.
Jerry gonna pull the trigger. What y'all talking about?
It remains to be seen. Remains to be seen. The Eagles will definitely pull the trigger.
I say Jerry and the Eagles. Jerry loves making a splash, right? Jerry loves being the headlines. This would be right up Jerry's alley.
Yeah.
To steal the headlines once again.
And he wouldn't want him to go to the Eagles because they in the same. They don't want that man in our division.
He don't want to deal with that.
Not if he ain't with us.
What is he willing to give up? Because here's the thing. The Eagles say, I'll give you 2 ones and A.J. Brown. You see where I'm going with this, Ocho and Joe? You see what I'm going? They need an offensive weapon. They need draft capital. Jerry, are you willing to give up 2 ones and Pickens?
That's a good one.
If that's the going price, going once, going twice.
Yeah.
So we gonna have Myles.
I want him to go somewhere where he can win. I'm tired of saying, look, I mean, just think about it now. I want y'all to think about this. This man had 23 sacks. They won 5 games. Imagine how many sacks he could get if they played with a lead. They had 5 sacks. He had 5 sacks against the Patriots, and they lost by, they lose by 14? Yeah. So just imagine they play with a lead, and he can get off, and he ain't even got to worry about the run.
That boy gonna be mean, man.
Man, that's crazy.
Hey, I know he had 23 sacks. What was it, 23 and a half or 23? What he had the year before?
I think like 16.
He gonna try to bounce back. He gonna try to bounce back on that 20-twin. I hope it's in the Dallas uniform.
Only one guy's ever had 2 20+ sack seasons. That's J.J. Watt. Nobody else has ever had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 14 and 23, 14 and 24, and 23 and 25.
How old is he?
He might be 29.
Oh, yeah, he still got a lot of good football left in him.
Just right situation. Yep. Have to slide the protection. He got somebody else to worry about. He can approach another 20-sack season. But he's at his absolute apex right now. I mean, for him and for that size to be able to move like he does, I mean, he got wiggle to it.
Hey, them folks.
I mean, he's moving like, I mean, you see him, he hot jab stepping and then one step. I mean, he beating premier tackles like it's nothing. Yeah, it don't matter.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give up 2 firsts for him, boy.
And a player.
Yeah.
Look at what Green Bay gave up for Micah. And you think you're not finna give that up for Myles Garrett?
I'm with you.
The guy got 125, 130 something sacks. He's 70 sacks from breaking the record at 30.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I won't speak it into existence.
Hey, once they change their language, it's only a matter of time. It's just
because I want to change the language, Ocho, because I don't want that dead money on mine. Because if I already given the bonus, now that's on my on my cap. Let somebody else put that on their cap.
It's gonna happen. It just
and he's like, hey, I'll be willing to do this because guess what, Ocho? Y'all holding $29 million from me. I'm supposed to get that bread. Now I'm gonna get it, but I'd be willing to do that. But y'all got to be willing to trade me to a contender. The Jets got buku compensation. Because remember, Ocho, they got.
Bears fans, let me ask you something that should make every single person in this fan base sit up for a second. What happens if the wildest move still hanging out there for Chicago is not dead at all, and the name is Myles Garrett? I'm serious. Just imagine it. Myles Garrett on one side, Montez Sweat on the other, quarterbacks hearing footsteps before the snap, Soldier Field turning into total chaos. Yeah! And here's why this conversation refuses to go away. Garrett is still officially on the Browns roster, and Cleveland's GM Andrew Berry just said the recent contract tweak was not a precursor to a trade and called Garrett a career Brown. So nobody should act like this thing is done or even close to done. But at the exact same time, ESPN reported that Cleveland and Garrett changed the contract language so his option bonus dates were pushed back to 7 days before the regular season, a change that would make a post-June 1 trade more workable for the Browns. So no, it is not official trade news, but yes, it absolutely keeps the door cracked for speculation, and that is why Chicago keeps getting linked in the buzz. And Bears fans, let's be honest about something. The fit makes football sense. The Bears themselves said improving the pass rush is a point of emphasis, and the official roster still shows Montez Sweat and Dayo Odeyingbo in that edge group, while Ryan Poles said he expects injured rush pieces like Odeyingbo and Shamar Turner to help this year. That sounds nice, that sounds hopeful, but come on now, if a player like Myles Garrett ever truly became gettable, you do not just shrug and move on. You pick up the phone, you ask the question, you get aggressive. Because Garrett is not just another pass rusher, man. The Browns' own site shows he broke the NFL single-season sack record with 23 in 2025, won AP Defensive Player of the Year, and piled up 33 tackles for loss with 39 quarterback hits. That is not normal production. That is the kind of dude who changes the identity of an entire defense by himself. Now, think about what that would mean for Chicago. This team is trying to build around Caleb Williams, and one of the best gifts you can give a young quarterback is not just better blocking or another weapon. It is a defense that gets him the ball back, kills drives, and closes games in the fourth quarter. That is where this gets exciting, because if Garrett ever hit the market for real, the Bears would not be adding a name. They would be adding fear. Real fear, the kind of fear that makes Green Bay change protections, makes Detroit speed up the game plan, makes Minnesota know the pocket is never safe. And that is why the speculation has juice. National outlets are not floating Chicago for nothing. They are floating Chicago because the Bears have a real need, a young quarterback worth maximizing, and a front office that has already shown it is willing to explore big moves when the upside is worth it. Do I think this means Myles Garrett is definitely coming to Chicago? No, let's keep it real. Cleveland is publicly saying he's staying, and until that changes, he's a Brown. But do I think Bears fans should watch this story closely and dream a little? Oh, absolutely, because this is exactly the kind of move that would tell the entire league Chicago is done thinking small, done waiting politely, done hoping pressure magically appears. A Garrett-Sweat combo would be brutal, violent, nasty football, the kind this city would fall in love with immediately. And even if it never happens, I still love what it says about where the Bears are right now. They are being mentioned in superstar conversations because people can feel this team getting closer, stronger, more serious. That matters. That tells you the arrow is pointing up. So now I want to hear from you. If the chance ever becomes real, would you go all in for Myles Garrett, or would you keep building the pass rush another way? Drop your take in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and bear down. Because one thing is clear, the Bears are a lot closer to becoming scary than the rest of the league wants to admit.